Yes, a very good afternoon and welcome to Bulimba. It's the Bulimba Bulldogs. They are playing host to the Valley's Diehards. It's Team 2 v Team 3 on the ladder. Bulimba in second, Valley's in third. It's a top four blockbuster. I'm Cameron Anker. I'm joined by Golden Tonsils, Mr. John Devine. Good afternoon, John. And what a matchup we have here this afternoon.
We do indeed here at the Balmoral Aquatic Centre. Every time I come here, it's raining. I've got the gumboots on. But, yeah, an important matchup. You're right, Cam, because these two, if the ladder remains the way it is, two will play three in the first week of the final. So the Bulldogs take on the Diehards, and that's definitely going to be here. So they want to get that win up here. Conditions may be different when that comes around in 2 weeks' time, but still the mindset, and even in the teams that are running out, could be completely different in 2 weeks' time. But still, that's that mental edge to get over the top here. And we see the games today here. The Bulldogs, Seagulls will take on the Bears down at Kitchener Park there. That should be a crackerjack game here. The Bears just have a chance, Cam?
Yeah, a slight chance. We dare say that it's a must-win game against the Seagulls over there this afternoon at Kitchener Park. It's always a tough place to go to, but the Bears, they've got to get the job done over there. The other matchups over there at Brandon Park, the Magpies looking to try and salvage something out of the season and get a win over the Roosters. Carina taking on the Hounds. Carina's they've been resurgent, haven't they, John? A few wins on the trot. And then over there at Hamel Park, Pride and the West Brisbane Panthers. An important game for the Pride, trying to remain inside the top four there.
Yeah, the Pride obviously with trying to get in the top three as well, depending on other results as well. So here's the last time these guys had a bit of a dance together. And the Bulldogs in round 8, 40 points to 14. I think that'll be a different story today. 2021, we can see the Diehards too good for Bulimba then, and then round 10 in that same year, 46-10 to 12. So it's basically been the Bulldogs this year, but in the past it's been shared across the board there. So season, that was only 10 rounds. We've got a... now, during the week, Cam, it's been a terrible week for rugby league, honestly, but it all started off with, unfortunately, the passing of Michael Purcell in a car accident. We've got a bit of a line-up here today, and Michael Purcell, he was part of the Bulimba side in the early rounds of the Chaos A-grade, Premier A-grade competition, coming back from injury, trying to force his way back into that Brisbane Tigers side. And, well, he certainly lit the competition up. He just scored tries left, right and centre. I had the pleasure of actually interviewing him last year on League and More, part of the Brisbane Tigers Studio 33 production. And he just wanted the ball in hand. He wanted to play footy. He hated pre-season, unlike myself. He used to love it. But he was a funny guy, Michael Purcell. It's just a tragic loss. And look, on behalf of Calling All Sports Brisbane, you, me, Kel, Jay, Taylor Brown and the crew, Brad Talon. It's a sombre day here at the Balmoral Sports Complex, and it's a sorry loss. Obviously outstanding with the Ipswich Jets as well. Kel, I'm not really sure whether there's a minute's silence happening over there at the moment. It seems there's a presentation actually taking place over there. So the number 1 jersey is going to be presented to the family that Michael wore. Mate, that number on his back was even it had trouble keeping up with him.
Absolutely,
That's how
mate.
fast he was.
Yeah.
Your recollections, mate?
Yeah, definitely an emotional day here for both sides as well. He touched the rugby league community a lot of times, Michael Purcell. As I said to you during the week, he was just one of those players that you would pay money to go and watch. He just, everything happened around him. Something amazing always happened around him. And as they called him, the kangaroo catcher, because he's apparently chased down a kangaroo before. So a massive loss for rugby league in general, Michael Purcell. And it's a great thing what they're doing here today, Bulimba, and a minute's silence and presenting his family with the number 1 jersey as well.
Yeah, it's talking to Michael Lambert during the week. It was a tough occasion. As I said, it was once the whistle blows, I'll get underway and get things started. But it's great to. I know the Bulimba side's very upset, but the whole community across the board losing one of our own. Basically, we are a big family. We hate each other when we get across the white chalk. We get stuck into each other. There's a little bit of to and fro during the season, but collectively we don't like losing one of our own. So you see the Bulimba Bulldogs with the number 1 jersey making their way out onto this ground that he run amok on a few occasions at the start of 2021. 2, I should say. The number 1 jersey. And a lot of people saw the back of that jersey. Cameron Anker.
Absolutely, mate.
A lot of people. So there's his family. There you go, a minute of silence here, and emotional scenes here at Balmoral Sports. See Michael Lambert, Michael's mother there, and yeah, tough afternoon, but I know he hated pre-season training, but he would have hated people missing out on a game of footy on this day here at Balmoral. A very important game, as you mentioned, for Bulimba and for Valleys. Valleys, as they did last year, Cam, coming back from mid-season slump last year, they stormed into the grand final, and they, like they did for the season, the grand final, actually they came from behind to win the grand final. If you remember, Jai Bellinger scoring 3 minutes from full time, the only time that I think the Diehards were in front. And for Bulimba last year, made the semi-finals, knocked out first week. They want to go one better than that, but nothing can take away their second spot. And also, obviously, congratulations to the West Brisbane Panthers, minor premiers, still 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, massive effort. Undefeated.
They've the mud and blood have just run amok, and yeah, I think this is what Michael would have wanted, as we see the family make their way off the field. See a few plays in Ipswich Jets colours up there, I think, Cam.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said there as well, quite emotional. Everyone over there as they were presenting Michael Purcell's family with the jersey. Obviously, coach there, Michael Lambert, he was very upset. Obviously, pretty close to Michael. The whole club was close to him, and yeah, as I keep saying, it's just a very emotional day, and I believe that Bulimba will come out here and they'll try and do him proud. Teams start to make way here. We might as well go to the team list for the afternoon. We'll start with that Bulimba side. A few changes, as we said, they're retiring the number 1 for today. So James Busby's at the back, Andrew Jackson and Jack Stafford are the wingers, Zach Tybee and Ahomana are the centres, Tristan Wright Scott and Hayden Herbert the halves, Lachlan Lansky, Jack Mears and Husky Tatau the front row, and in the back row of Finn Barnes, Braden D and Oliver Pascoe. Rounding out the bench for the Bulldogs this afternoon, Jacob Reedy Bartlett, Thomas O'Keefe, Isaac Skyring, and one of your favourites, John Emmanuel Kitty, back in this side.
Yeah, coming back. So Oliver Pascoe, 3 quality hookers there for the Bulimba side. We look at the Valley Diehards. James Olds is at fullback as again, the number 1 being rested there. Michael McGrath and Rashun Deddy are on the wing, coming back from a cup side. Rashun Deddy. Reed Young and Jared Chambers are in the centres. Glenn McGrady goes back into the number 6 spot there, along with Joshua Fode. Whether that starts that way, I'm not too sure. But Ollie Olds hasn't been named there. No. Michael Maguire, Zach Maguire, and Moses Navua Magrill are in the front row. Lepu, Barwick, and Maguire. Robbie Barwick scoring 2 tries last week. And on the bench, Payako, Silva Vitali, Tiatama, and Brad Skulls are on your bench as we're about to get underway here for this Round 17 clash of the Chaos BRL A-grade, Premier Grade competition. And Bulimba will receive. Nothing like having blue and white jerseys, Cam.
Yeah, it's always fun for us here. It's always fun for the commentators when the jerseys look quite alike.
So Bulimba will receive at the clubhouse end, the southern end, and Valleys. We are underway, round 17 here, Chaos BRL A-grade Premiership, a shortish kick-off and coming all the way from the clubhouse, Husky.
Yes. They're into it already here, John.
Yeah, Lachlan Lansky, the tackler. It's going to be your pardon. Joe Maguire at number 13. Interesting, Cam.
Yeah, 13 for the Diehards. Joey Maguire this afternoon. Here's Ollie Pascoe now, a ball in hand. There's another interesting one in the 13 jumper for the Bulldogs. As you said, they've just got quality 9s all across the park, this Bulldogs side.
It was a feature of the competition last year, wasn't it? It was just raining hookers, and for some people that's a great thing, but rugby league can be a bit of a nightmare. That's the 40-metre line here for Bulimba. They're going to kick early in the tackle count. That's a pretty handy one. Olds has to wait for it to sit up for him, and he does, and goes into the in-goal area. What a mighty kick that was. He's going to come out to the 10-metre line, so they got to their kick.
Oh, they'll take him back here too, John. What a start from the Bulimba side. Great kick from Tristan Wright Scott, and then the kick chase was just as good. They muscle up, they take him under the sticks, and they'll force a repeat set here. That's a huge play to start this match from the Bulldogs.
He'd hate that James Olds there. He likes to beat that first tackle. He can't beat 7 of them.
No.
He just came in a wall, so no breeze to speak of here. The drizzlers Seems to have baited the drizzle, I should say, and it's just a...
Oh, they're
going
going
short. Look out. Goes over the top of Myers, so that's good field position here. They're 15 out here. They're trying to hope for Michael McGrath to come around and take that one, but they weren't able to do so. It was with Braden D, and Braden D gets 15 out. Tackled by Joe Maguire. No bets on sin binning of the Maguires today here. Apparently it's a pretty important game, so they're probably going to behave themselves with Hayden Herbert. Gets the offload now to Busby. Gets the offload again. They keep it alive here with Stafford, and Stafford's got a forward pass. So James Olds will be pretty happy about that.
Well, it was a great start in defence from the Bulimba Bulldogs side, but now in the attacking area, they just weren't able to come up with the right play here. Simone Ahomana there just being ruled to have passed that forward. Might have been a little bit unlucky. It looked a line ball to me. However, pressure evaded early on from the Diehards. They'll be happy with that, defending their own line early.
Yeah, I don't understand these offloads early in the tackle count, especially when you're down that end of the field, especially when it's 0-0 on the scoreboard as well. It's not like you're playing catch-up footy. So
I'm intrigued to see how this Diehard side attack today. As you mentioned, no Ollie Olds. Spoke to their assistant coach Jason Delizio earlier on. He said he was close, but they just opted not to rest him, I suppose, and just get it fully 100% right.
Chambers gets put on his face.
So a halves pairing of Josh Fayoud and Glenn McGrady dropping back down from the Devils side. They've had a few drop back today. Moses Navoa McGreal, Glenn McGrady and Rashawn Denny. So a pretty strong looking Valley side, that's for sure.
Really what Valleys have done so far in the last few weeks, Cams have done it without any of the North's players.
Yeah.
So North's obviously struggling in the Host Plus Cup. They're trying to defend their title. They beat Wynnum Manly at Moreton Daly last year. They're looking to try and get, just play semi-finals. We only got one footy here. Might pass a hat around, eh? Barwick. Buy them some more footies. So Barwick scored a double last week, Cam. He certainly he had to go into the centres to replace Corbin Daniels. I'm not really sure whether he's there or not this time. It's cross field.
There is Glenn McGrady, but yeah, he's been great, Rob Barwick. As you said, got a double last week and been one of the stalwarts for this side this year.
Fayoud turns another ball now here to Reed Young, who's no stranger to the try line either. But Barwick, every side's got to have a Jesus look-alike, and they've got him as Maguire to Maguire. And Michael Maguire, his outstanding form of late in this competition. The 12 out from the try line, the Diehards. They were doing a line drop out 5 minutes ago. Takes the tackle in the end. There's Neville McGreal. He's going to drive towards the try line. The referee's right there. Last tackle. Only a metre out. He might actually be held up over the line. He's got to go back 10. Or you can go back as far as you like, I suppose. Maguire.
He's going to tell him to play it again. Moses, take another centimetre backwards.
Still the last tackle. Bizarre stuff here. I really struggled with this ruling. Anyway, Fayoud, he gets the shocker of a pass at the ankles, then cops one in the schnoz. They're going to come up with a footy in the end now, will Bulimba, and a yucky end of that set of six started by the referee.
Yeah, that wasn't a great pill to Fayoud. You can't expect him to take that on his toes there on last play as well. They've got to be better than that.
Fayoud's very happy about this. There's been a knock-on, unfortunately, here from Ahomona. And the first person to be really, really chuffed about it was Fayoud. But really, I think a guy who passed it to him should be even more relieved.
Yeah, not a great start for Simon Ahomana there. He's had a forward pass. Now he's had an error, just gifting Valleys an opportunity here. 20 out from the try line. They've got a full set of 6, so it's not his greatest start. He'll be looking to make up for that, especially in defence here. Need to get up in the face of Valleys and try and keep them out.
That's the 20 minutes. There's more lines out here than a runway. As we see, McGrady takes the line. He's not afraid of running the ball this afternoon, is McGrady. That's the third time he's taken to the line. Barwick lurking, gets the offload. It's only the third tackle. Maguire comes up with the footy, and Maguire's going to come up with a big shot whacked on his back. They have knocked a little bit of wind out of Maguire. Scholes is one of the tacklers. Fayoud. This one's a little bit higher. Actually had to leap for that one. Thanks very much. It's down with Tiatau.
One-on-one.
Gets a one-on-one strip here. Oh, it's everything. And there's a shot there from Fayoud. Puts a beauty on. And he'll get up and play it now with Barnes.
Fayoud, he's a great defender for a half. We saw him put a few shots on last week as well as Bulimba throw an offload here trying to get out of their own end.
Tiatau gets the footy there. Another offload early in the tackle count, only on the 30-metre line. Barwick's the tackler. They get almost to the 10. They do get to the 10-metre line there. So terrific effort there coming from Zach Tybee. Back three starting to drop back now, expecting a early kick. And they're going to keep it in the hands. Herbert, cut out ball, finds a Homona, then in turn gives it off to Stafford. Oh. Stafford actually just bumps Fayoud out of the way. Now's the last tackle here for Bulimba. Herbert puts a banana kick back into the left-hand corner. The winger isn't back there. It's going to go end over end. Pops up. Nicely. Oh, flies through the air. He scored the try. Oh, Mono, he's back. Come up with a couple of errors. Now he's scored the most magical try you can see in rugby league.
Yeah, well, that was superb from the Bulimba Bulldogs. Great kick from Hayden Herbert. Gave James Olds no chance of getting there on the full. And so Mana Homana, we spoke about it. He hasn't had the happiest of starts, but how about that, he says, and throws it back in our face and scores quite a marvellous try. As we watch the BRL TV replay here, thanks to Chaos, just on the bounce, gets above the pack and then just sort of rolls over, slams it down, and that's a great way to make up for those couple of early errors from him early on.
I'm just wondering where the winger was for the Diehards. He was, it was all for Olds to do, unless Olds had moved to the wing and...
Well, it's definitely the winger's position there. That's the way the kick went from Herbert.
Well, Herbert, I think he spotted that there wasn't anybody at home.
Yeah, he must have there. So it was all the work in front of Olds to try and get to that pill on first bounce, but he just wasn't able to do it. As we see here,
Olds is back there.
Olds he starts running towards the centre, and then Herbert must have noticed that, and he has to turn and go back the other way, and he couldn't get there. Simona Homana. Great kick chase, puts himself in position, and that's what scores you points. Putting yourself in the position to get there. Did a marvellous job.
Half the time people hate the shape of the footy, and half the time the other, they love the shape of the footy. That one's going to go way out to the right. It looks like my drive off number 1 at Capera. That's out of bounds, that one. But anyway, it's 4-0. The score line remains here on the Chaos scoreboard. Chaos, our competition sponsor, four-wheel drive, camping, outdoors and adventure. I wouldn't mind if they could probably whack us up a little bit of a glamping thing every time we go to a wet venue. Yeah, outstanding. The sun's starting to come out actually here at Balmoral as McGrady gets us underway. Again, a midfield kick-off. Tia Tau comes streaming on, finds Joe Maguire, and he also finds Lansky.
Some big contact again there from Husky, just coming off the back fence. Here goes Ollie Pascoe now in the 13 role.
Going to be dangerous in the back end of this game. A little hit of a knock on, and it was a knock on from Jack Mears, I think it was.
Yep, after points, John. That is the coach killer right there. We speak about it so often. You just want to complete, keep it simple, keep the set simple. And I think it's the errors from Pascoe just trying to play the ball too quickly. It's going to give Valleys a chance here to try and get back on level terms. Can't give them these opportunities. We saw how good they were last week with ball in hand. Let's see what they can do here off the back of the scrum. As you said, Glenn McGrady, he likes to run the ball. He's ran it a couple of times already. What can he do in this set?
With Olds, takes the first carry, and McGrady feeding that scrum has to be the tallest scrum feeder I've ever seen. Anyway, it's with Maguire now, and then Michael Maguire straightens play, runs into Oliver Pascoe. Good one-on-one tackle there from Oliver Pascoe. Fayoud, McGrady, Barwick, forward, yes, call from the sideline, helped. The boys from Bulimba said that's forward. Well,
a few errors starting to creep here for both sides. We see here they were up in the face of McGrady, which I think that's the way you want to play him. You want to get at him quickly, which Braden D did. Forced him to pass that ball forward. So credit to Braden D there. Just getting in the face of the big man, trying to upset him there in defence, and he did a good job at it.
A lot of unforced errors, and there's only been that one knock on Fayoud, so the handling errors haven't been there. There's been the forward passes, the one-on-one strips, and the offloads that have gone awry. And
there's a bit of weather here. Maybe they just keep the passes a bit tighter, line runners a bit shorter.
There's a bowls club around here, a bit of grippo. That on the hands, hang on the footy. So it's going one by Mears at the back, Herbert. It's the offload and a straightener there from Stafford. Tries to get to his feet quick as with Mears down. Tia Tau gets away from Maguire, comes back at him. Zach and Michael pull him down.
It's been a good battle between Mike Maguire and Husky Tatau so far.
That's what you want to see. Oliver Pascoe now, that's the halfway line just in front of him. Mears, slow, play the ball, winning the wrestle here to a degree are Valleys. That's come up and not played at, and that's going to be dived on, and they've lost some field position here, and Yeah, they probably want that one again, Cam.
Yeah, Tristan Wright Scott there on the last, just wanted to dink it, I suppose, over the top of the Valley's defence, but a charge down there enabled Valleys to get it, and they'll start this set in good position.
I'm sure James Olds wakes up and thinks he's an armadillo, that nothing can crack that shell. He just goes charging, the little fella. Cops a fair hit knock. It's with Zach Maguire. He gets across the, I think it's the 30. Certainly lines here, as I mentioned. Jackson. Well, McGrill, good quick play the ball. I thought he might run around that Fayou. Puts a kick over and diffused at the back there by Stafford. So they completed second. There's 99 metres to the other end here for Balmoral.
Yeah, they've got them exactly where they want them here, Diehards. That was a great set. Now they're just trying to pin them in the corner here. The try scorer, Ahamana, with the ball. And now backed up by Stafford. He's through.
Yeah, he's got a race. All of a sudden, a couple of defence comes off. James Olds, I think, must be playing a fullback. I think Cam. So that's the first real line break. Zach Tybee gets to the 40 inside Valley's territory. Skulls. Sorry, D. Bald-headed players.
You're getting them mixed up there, John. I'm not to blame you.
I'm going to say Michael Klim next. Kick over the top here, come from Wright Scott. This is a better one. It's going. They had a bit of a look at each other, did James Old. And there's a defence coming through on the kick. They didn't quite drive him in the in-goal area, but that's they've got 99 metres to go, Cam.
Yeah, and that's what you want. Both coaches will be happy with that as well. Just completing your sets, getting them in the corner here, and then just try and force an error with your defence. Back your defence to keep them there inside their own half as Chambers makes a good run here, though, to give Valley some valuable metres.
Good metres. Breeze is starting to pick up a little bit, top of screen to bottom of screen, but nothing too vigorous. And Avoa McGrill, again, falls over 3 or 4 defenders. D was one of those before he pulls out. The referee is screaming for a penalty. He was both sides testing the referee's patience on the ruck. So far, no penalties. With Barwick down the left-hand side, they go. That's come unstuck and gone backwards. The referee hasn't waved 6 to go again. It's with Valleys, and Barwick has lost his hairband, and he's going to need the hair straightener out there if he's going to keep going with this game here. But he'll get up and play it underneath the tackle there of the back in Pasco. McGrady puts it high, torpedo. Stafford's underneath it.
Good
no,
luck.
He's not. And it's with Busby now. Yeah, exactly right. The higher you fly it, it's harder it is to take. But anyway, he got to a kick.
Yeah, we might see more of that from Glenn McGrady as well. He likes to put up those big swirling sort of torpy bombs, and Stafford was coming towards it, but then right at the last minute opted to say, no, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, he saw the pin wasn't in the grenade. He said, I'm not catching that thing. So heavy contact as we expect. Herbert finds a forward runner, and he finds that in we might be scoring out there. Is it Kenny?
Yep.
Cam, sorry.
Yep.
Pasco takes to the line. Pasco gets away from Fayou, but he doesn't get away from Lapou. Last one. Here he goes. Well, it's a kicking competition here at Balmoral. He puts that one high in the sky, and he takes it in the end, and nicely done. On the back there by Rashawn Denny,
yeah, well done, Rashawn Denny out there. He got a nice shield from Olds as well. He didn't take anyone out there, James Olds, but enabled Rashawn Denny just to have an uncontested catch at that one. So good stuff from Valleys, and we're starting to see some nice completions here now. So we're getting into the arm wrestle of this match. Who's going to crack first?
Barwick takes that tackle on the left side, and I think he's playing the centres because Chambers is out there. But he's playing wide of the ruck in the 12, and Maguire. 2 13s come together, and everybody loves to get something on Joe's face, whether it's a knee or a finger or a
Glenn goes
or a foot. Jackson takes that. Nothing kicked that from McGrady. No pressure for Jackson. He'll get some easy metres, and he'll bring it back almost to the 40-metre line.
Yeah, again, completion though it is from Valleys, and again we're just stuck in this arm wrestle. Both teams going tit for tat here. Loving this contest of the middlemen though. Michael Maguire, Husky Tatel, Braden D now charging it up. They're loving the contact. Joe Maguire's there as well. They're really at each other here, both of these sides middlemen.
So one tried to Ahamo, and that one's around the throat there, and Busby will get up. And probably starts to sound like Darren Lockyer now, as with Mears. He gets the offload, keeping it alive as Busby comes back again, has another crack. Gets within 20 metres of the try line. The last tackle now, says the referee. Let's see what Herbert does with this one. Puts a nice little kick over in the corner here, testing the high flying, and he does so, Michael McGrath, and he's going to lose a footy. He's going to say it's a changeover.
think he's saying an error from Bulimba there. It might have been Stafford getting above that, got a touch to it. We'll try and have a look on the Chaos BRL TV replay here.
Yeah,
it might have been Ahamana actually that touched it first. He was pleading his case to the touch. He's saying, I had none of that. And the referee said,
I had none of that.
Yes.
Give Valleys the footy. They behind on the scoreboard, 4-0. First try to Ahamana in about the 8th minute. Maguire stands strong. You can always see his head at the top of the pack there. Scoring one of the tacklers. Again, they keep going. They pester this right-hand defence of Balmoral. Cam, I haven't seen them come this way very often.
It's interesting that they go that way because they've got such a stalwart, as we see an error here from Zach Maguire out of dummy half. But I find it intriguing why they're going that way. They've got Braden D and Zach Tybee out there who are so experienced and they don't miss many tackles. So they must see something that we don't, but it's a nice edge, defensive edge there for Bulimba anyway.
Well, Zach Tybee's coming back from injury, so he may be gassed. So it's not a bad ploy to keep running at that play, keep running, just wearing him down, and then he breaks. I mean, if you look at the grand final between Wynnum and Norse last year, they kept going that blind side to the right-hand defensive Wynnum Manly, and finally it cracked because I don't recall the play. I know Kalado Sayatow was on that right edge that day, but they just wore down the defence on the right-hand side, and Norse were able to capitalise. So good tactic here from the Nathan Hughes and the next 007 and Jason Delizio. Shaken, not stirred is Delizio. Herbert now out the back finds Busby. Busby with a cheeky run, tries to get basically fell over after a bit of a nudge. Herbert. It's Barnes, not too many metres there. Maguire grabs him. Mears, Herbert, Tiatau, going nowhere. Driving with the legs, gets across the 40, almost at the 30. Tiatau. A couple of tackles still to go here from Balmoral. Herbert fires it out. Busby takes it to the line. Busby, you hand a man outside him, he decided to hang on. They're running out of grass on that far side. Don't know whether there was 6 to go again, Cam, but they still seem to have it. D gets the offload with Skyring. Now it's the last, so maybe early in the tackle camp. But anyway, grab a kick in the in-goal area. Herbert comes through and it's been diffused, but that will be a line dropout.
Yeah, well
good pressure from Balmoral.
Yeah, well done from the Bulldogs there. 4 points to 0 it remains here. We have a look at the Chaos replay. It's just nice work from Jack Mears out of dummy half. Sums up the situation. Herbert was flying through, but James Old just bats that one dead, and we'll have a repeat set coming up for the Bulldogs.
Chat in the in-goal area. Michael Maguire having a chat to the referee.
20 minutes gone now. I feel like we might see this one start to open up.
Again, the short line drop out. Jackson's underneath it. He's lost it. Gets it back again, this Jackson. Nice stuff. He got a lot of heat coming there from Michael McGrath. Look out. Right, Scott finds Skyring. Skyring straightens the play. Michael McGuire won the tackles along with Joe. Good quick play. The ball. Mears, they go to the right-hand side. They're testing the Valleys. Left defence here is with Braden D. Spins out of one tackle there of McGrady. Quick play, the ball's the feature of the afternoon here at Balmoral, and Bright Scott has come up with an error.
Again, we've seen a few of these, John. In this type of conditions, you can't be passing the ball to your playmakers at their toes. They're just not going to be able to take it. We see a bad ball from Mearsy here. You don't often see that as well from Mears, but you can't expect Tristan Wright Scott to catch that. We've seen a few of them. These dummy halves have got to be better.
And it probably wouldn't hurt if they just next to a metre closer. They're a little bit lighter than the old seeds they used to be. Just sort of float for a while. So anyway, this scrum will be fed with the option of taking it to the middle of Balmoral Sports Complex. Look at him, he's just a giant. Glenn McGrady feeding that scrum. Maguire. Herbert tackling, get off the ball, says the referee. Good charge and run them. Is that Michael McGrath?
Yeah.
Well, you pick up your lungs later. Barwick putting it right, gets the offload, gives it off to Chambers, and Chambers, has he lost the footy? He has. This is coach killer stuff, Cameron Anker. I don't know why they're getting these offloads early in the tackle camp.
Yeah, well, again, I think as we get towards the back end of this half, we'll see these errors starting to cost teams more as we see another one-on-one strip from Maguire.
Nobody's looking after the football here on either side. Maguire's a dummy half. Gives it to Michael Maguire. He'll get across the halfway line. He's going to fall over in the tackle. Well, I'm not going to blame the conditions today. I just think it's been 6 more to go, says the referee. It's with Joe Maguire. Runs into D's right shoulder. He gets pulled down 10 metres inside the Bulldogs' kennel. Maguire. Novoa McGrill thinks about the offload. Does. Gives it to Fayou. Puts it under ball here now to Lepu. Crawling. No look pass. Maguire finds Joshua Fayou. Puts a couple of razzle-dazzle steps on him. Also gets a razzle-dazzle in the ear.
Yeah, it was a nice step from Fayou, and that caught Isaac Skyring flat-footed, and he swung out the forearm, and unfortunately for him, he got him high there on Fayou. It gives the Diehards here now a big chance trying to get back on level terms here. They take the tap and get going.
Oh, Michael Maguire thunders into the defence. Skyring one of the tackles. Metre out from the try line. The Diehards looking for first points in this round 17 clash. Novoa McGrill loses. It's been knocked on there by Bulimba. I don't think it's knocked back. So the first knock on is actually going to go against Bulimba. And it'll be Diehards will get the footy back.
Yeah, they'll get it again, the Diehards here. That is the way the referee ruled it. He went for an offload, and it must have been ruled. He said it was touched by Braden D there.
Yeah. These Fayou, just lovely stuff.
Bang! Love that.
He reminds me of you underneath the mirror ball on a Friday night at City Rose, mate. If City Rose is still around.
You know, that footwork like that is what gets me going, like what a mousetrap gets you going.
Oh, I love the mousetrap. I've got another one to tell you about later on. As Maguire wins this. Chambers takes on the defence. He runs into Busby. Stands in the tackle. Looking for a one-on-one strip there as a Tybee. Referee says, let him play it. McGrady. It's an ball down to Novoa McGrill. Now to Maguire. Michael Maguire runs in Husky territory. Gets the offload now. Keeping it alive is with Fayou. Fayou almost runs back around Novoa McGrill, but decides to take the tackle. 8 out. Bulldogs hanging on. Maguire from dummy half finds Joe Maguire, no stranger to the try line in 2022. Stands underneath the tackle of 3 players. Finally falls down just because of the weight of Husky Teo on top of him. Maguire. Fayou puts a kick in. Has that been played? Hayden Herbert's got the footy. He gets the offload. It's a foot race. Away he goes down the sideline. It's Ahamana looking for a double. Ahamana goes back inside. He's going to take the tackle, and he's almost going to go and he touch and he will. Lovely stuff here from the Bulimba, the Valley side.
Great chase. Michael McGrath on his opposite number and Simone Ahamana there. I thought Simone was going over for all money, but Michael McGrath just found a second leg late there. Hayden Herbert knew what to do. Chucked it straight to Ahomana. As we see here, the foot race. Did Ahomana, I thought he might have even pulled a hamstring. No, he just wanted to cut back on the inside. But it was a great chase from Michael McGrath.
Yeah,
greasy
conditions. You knew he had to come back. He gets a good hit. He's taking the touch. He does in the end there because of the extra effort coming from the Valley's defence here. But Ahomana was... Yeah, I don't know. You look like one of the horses I back. It's going, all the money's going to win. Next thing, he just falls down the back end and I lose all my money. But
I thought he had him there, and then, as I said, Michael McGrath just came late and managed to take him over the touchline as well. So a win-win there for Valley.
Crazy stuff here this afternoon. This clash. One-on-one strip. 6 more to go, and referee will say no. We'll get a penalty here. Might want to pull a player out here. It's D, and I think it might have actually been Lansky as well.
It's only 4 points to 0 here, John. 15 to go in the first half, but it's been quite an indifferent game. We saw a lot of errors to start the match, and then we got into the grind of the match. And now we're just seeing Valleys. They're slightly winning the battle of field position here at the moment. They'll start their set in good territory. They'll want to try and get on the board.
Well, look, mate, that cover defence to knock down Ahamano might pay dividends here as they go into half-time because they go out to 10-0. It's, this is semi-final footy.
They just don't look as fluent as last week, Valleys. Maybe that's because Ollie Olds isn't here, but it definitely looked a lot crisper last week. Yeah,
there was a lot of players that dropped into this side, as I was saying. If you have players that are playing week in, week out. I think there's 4 or 5 weeks where there weren't too many Norths players. Now, there's a few drop back. I'm not saying they're not bad players, just that consistency and continuity. Yes, they know each other outside each other. McGrady takes it to the line, gives the offload. McGrady gets smashed. Barwick loses the footy, and Bulimba will come up with it.
See, again, I think last week that goes to Barwick's hands and he goes close to scoring a try there. But like you were just saying, they're just missing that continuity and whatnot at the moment as they had last week. It was a lot crisper last week, and unfortunately for Valleys, they come up with an error there from the man that scored 2 last week in Rob Barwick.
See Kitty coming to the sideline here. Be interesting to see what changes Michael Lambert makes here for the Bulimba side. Scoring's come to the sideline. I don't know whether Valleys have made any change. Yeah, Michael Maguire's come off. Cam. Looks like Skulls have come on, so that'll be great. Couple of billiard balls going at each other. See what they can do. Lansky. Coming half is Mears. Slow play the ball. Here he is. He's out in the park. Here's Emmanuel Kitty. Kitty still going, looking for a one-on-one strip here. Maguire wants it, but the referee says no. Give it back. You're not wrestling in this sandpit.
See you Arvatelli out there in the 16 as well for the Diehards.
It's that time of the game, isn't it, Cam? Want some fresh legs. That kick's going to go end over end. He's not at home as Rashun Denny. He's going to get down there eventually, but he's right in the corner of the park. And good kick chase. It's been a feature here from Bulimba, Cam.
Yeah, really good again from Bulimba. Like you said, John, great kick chase. They've got him in a corner. And
there's
a big shot.
Emmanuel Kitty comes in and absolutely poleaxes Chambers. What a hit.
Need a bit of possession, I think, the Bulimba side, and maybe they can come up with some more points. It's been a while since they've had the ball in their attacking area.
Well, I can tell you, there's an offload from Olds. Joe Maguire, one of the tacklers, along with Mears. Yeah, Silver Vitali will be saying it's easy with the offload. Oh, they were all away. Chambers, Barbie got the offload, forward pass.
Yeah, well, this is what they need, the Bulimba side. They've backed themselves so far with the kick chase and some good defensive efforts. And again here, they try and get to Moses Navoa McGreal, and I'm not sure if that pass needed to be thrown. Moses is one of those players that have dropped down from this north side, and he'll want to try and get back into that Devils team, but just didn't help his side there with that forward pass.
Again, they go that right-hand defence of Bulimba.
Braden D's done a good job out on that edge.
Can't be too far away from having a bit of a breather. That's what I'm saying. They're just going to try and wear down Braden and Zach Tybee. They go the right hands with Zach Tybee now, and Tybee steps off the right, gets a shot, loses the footy. A lot of match fitness there, see?
They're doing a lot of things right, Bulimba, but just as they get the ball where they want the ball, where they want to play some footy, they're giving it up too easy. Other than that, they're playing well.
6 more, the referee says, and here he is, that man, Brad Skulls, the man-child. He's out in the middle of Balmoral today. That's the 40-metre line. Valley's behind on the scoreboard, 4 points to 0. 11 minutes remaining, first half. Rounds 7 in the Chaos Premier A-grade competition. The second carry here for Skulls.
Payako out there as well for the Diehards in dummy half.
Olds gives it off now to here to Reed Young. Again, quick play ball. Fayud has to reach to the skies for that one. See Vitali straightens the play, takes the tackle of Joe Maguire. Now it's the last, says the referee. Fayud, is there a grubber? No, there's a chip kick. Easier to take as you like as Stafford. Well, he's looked confident under high. Well, only the high ball he let that bounce. He was lucky in that one there, but he's reading the play well, isn't he?
Yeah, he started the match quite well, Stafford out there on that wing, and as you said, he just plucked that one out of the air. Said thank you very much. Now it's Bulimba's turn to come out of their own end.
Jackson decides to do a bit of work in the middle of the park here. He's probably regretting that. The Skulls hits him underneath the right rib cage. D still out there and running it like it's the first sit-up Cameron Anchor. Lovely stuff to watch there from Braden D. The blind side they go is with Tybee, and Tybee will get it on an arm wrestle here with Bowie. Gets the offload now. Referee says play on. It's almost like they stopped and wait for the referee to go and play it back on the marquee, but instead play on. It gets up in the end of the right Scott. Herbert, it's the last tackle, throws it back. Kick is coming, or chase is coming through. Tybee puts it up. It's gone backwards.
Did a good job there, Olds, to position his body so if he was going to drop that one, it went backwards.
He's a quality. Yeah, makes a break here as Olds gets almost down. Well, he's gone into touch here, James Olds. He's going to remonstrate with a touchy to say I was held. And the touch judge over there on the slushy shoot, no one.
He did a really good job, as I said live there, Olds, to position himself to make sure if he dropped that Zach Tybee bomb, he dropped it backwards. Did a good job, skipped to the outside, got on the outside of a few men, but then he probably just needed to cut back in. It's only first play. He tried to go one too many, try and get around Andrew Jackson, but credit to Andrew Jackson, he did a good job and forced him over the sideline.
I think the word execution is probably something we need to...
Yeah, both of these teams are lacking that to start this match. Still remains 4 points to 0, 8 minutes to go in the first half. Do we see some more points here? Bulimba haven't been able to attack that often, so if they hold on to the ball, I believe they can come up with more points.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that again because Beanley, that you and I both called, where they copped a pounding from Beanley and they're running against the run play, they scored the first points. Similar thing here today. Jackson hangs on to that one. Jackson, I love this red-headed kid. He knows how to score a try. He's not afraid to run it up. And there's not much to him. He's fearless. D. Skulls. There you go. Billiards. Takes a tackle. They want numbers out to the right-hand side here, Valleys. Let's see if they go that way. Bulimba, they do. Oh, good tackle. He comes off. He's going to keep going there.
Tom O'Keefe, I think that is, in the 17 jumper. And the referee says he's held up over the line, I think, so he must have went very close. He did a good job to skip through the line there. It looked like he was going to fall over his own feet, but as you see there on the replay, he remained up and eventually went close.
Blindside. Herbert puts it in goal. Oh, nicely grabbed.
Yeah, Reed Young, that was on the half volley as well. Really nice. But Bulimba, now it's their turn to keep this Valley side here. And there's some heavy defence.
We've seen time and time again where people just drop the most easiest of pass and then just on the half volley picks that one. It was with Barwick, and Barwick will run into O'Keefe. Well, they're trying to make a wish out of him too. His legs are on either side of his head. Skulls. Still out there is Joe Maguire, and I'm talking about fitness, not because of referee's decision. Grady puts a kick down and goes over the top here of Busby, end over it, and it'll sit up in the in goal area or just in the field of play. Away he comes. There's about 5 or 6 diehards there, and he's going to take the tackle of Fayoud.
Well, in the end, it was a nice kick from Glenn McGrady because Busby was somewhat out of position. It just sailed over his head, but again, a nice completion from Valley. Score remains 4 points to 0. Here goes Busby.
1, 2, 3 tacklers, 2 now. They pull one of those. They come again to this blind side. Beats the first tackle. Not the second one there from Reed Young. That's a Harmona. He's been one error. Other than that, he's gone nuts. O'Keefe is going to lose a footy. But Grady comes up with a Steeden. Barwick with a bit of a goose step. And Jesus goes across the halfway line. There's Barwick, a good carry.
But they're giving Valleys a chance, aren't they? Every time they get around the halfway mark, they seem to come up with an error.
They're not building any pressure, are they, Ken?
It won't be long until Valley's finally crack them. Yeah. They can't keep giving them these opportunities.
Olds goes to run from dummy half, and he gets absolutely crunched there by Lachlan Lansky. Ooh, a bit of a screen for a knock-on from Payoko. Ball back underneath him, that Reed Young, and Reed Young does a bit of a skip across the 30. And Reed Young, well, he's going to get the penalty there, but he was an easy target, wasn't he? When you're going sideways, you're just asking for it, but obviously not around the head.
Finally, we'll get a break in play, and it just slows down a little bit here, and they give a penalty. Just thinking for Valleys. As I said, they're not looking as fluent in attack, and where will they get their points from? We know Michael McGrath has been one of the noted try scorers this year. Maybe they start coming out to the right-hand side instead of keep going down that left-hand channel. I think they might need to switch it up a little bit, the Diehards. Come towards Young and McGrath.
Yeah. Reed Young's just got his nose out of his ear and put it back on the front of his face, and he'll go back into the right centre three-quarter position. Okay. Now they got some shape here. Long ball out. It's going to be taken on the far side there. Rashun Denny in the cover defence cuts him down about 2 metres short, metre in. Olds with a chance trying to get through there. He's going to be tackled by his opposite, and Kitty, number-wise, that is. Dart from dummy half. Still going to get Payoko. Stopped by Braden D. Fayoud. Turns an underball. takes a metre off the account here. Dart from dummy half, looking for an offload. Gets the offload, goes over and scores. I think you'll find he's got over, has he? No, says the referee. I thought for all money, Brad Scholes had scored.
That's marvellous defence there. Great scramble from the Bulimba Bulldogs. I thought Scholes was in for all money there. It was the latest of all offloads from Payako out of dummy half. Scholes must have went almighty close, but a credit to this Dogs defence. They are just holding on and holding on. Score remains 4 points to 0 here. Only 3.5 minutes on the clock in this first half, and they needed that one, the Dogs.
Now, I don't know if we got that there, but the penalty's going to go to Bulimba. But the player I'm trying to see, straight away he got hit without the footy, and then he grabs his arm, as if to say, you've broken my arm, I'll have a penalty, thanks. Gets the penalty, now he's right.
Ollie Pascoe, yeah.
Hey, the Academy Award goes to Oliver Pascoe. Should play some soccer, Ollie.
Well, Ollie's jumped into the dummy half roll as well when Jack Mears has gone to the sideline. So he started at 13, will now jump into the dummy half position.
Here we go again, the slugfest, 4-0 as Cam said. Bulimba given Valley's plenty of opportunities. The defence has hung on, and Valley's, like Keith, have actually haven't executed all that well, especially in the end zone. Cam, they've seemed to come up with an error or
they've had their chances, but they're just not able to get over the strip. Braden D forces a late offload there. Luckily enough for him, it went to his halves partner.
Pascoe puts the kick end over end. Olds had to go backwards, but in the end it was LaShawn Denny who's going to cut it down. They're a long, long way away from the other end. Just under 3 minutes remaining. Chambers, muscle to the ground, flopping over the top there is Wright Scott. Busby will take a couple of defenders to the turf. It's, Michael Maguire, I thought he'd come to the sideline. He must have gone straight back on as Husky Teartow's come to the sideline. So keeping the Maguires out there as long as they can. Scholes runs into D. Last tackle, says the referee. They're 8 short of halfway, so good defensive set here coming from Bulimba. McGrady.
Good luck.
It looked all at ease with that kick. Oh, you've got to feel for Busby. He's knocked that on. 8 out from the try line. There's 90 seconds remaining. If the forwards can get there in time to pack the scrum and turn the clock off, we'll have a fast finishing
what
end of this half.
Valleys have lacked in their attacking ability so far this afternoon. They've made up with it with some of these kicks from Glenn McGrady, able to force one there. They pack the scrum down with about a minute 20 on the clock, and they'll have that's a full set for them to try and at least go into the break on level terms, potentially 2 points up, John.
Correct. They've got a pretty good goal kicker in James Olds, but first they've got to get across the chalk. Be surprised if there's a penalty shortly that they might actually have a shot at goal. It's worth half a try, but let's see what McGrady and his henchmen come up with. Fayud is waiting for us to reach out for that one, turns the ball to Reed Young, and Reed Young runs into Hayden Herbert. Looking for a one-on-one strip there is Herbert. He'll stand in the tackle. Here he goes. Scholes denied earlier, and Scholes, well, he's going to be denied again here. Shot over the top there from Pascoe. Out the back goes with McGrady. Olds. Chambers for the corner, and Chambers will reach out and score right on half-time, and Jared Chambers.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what the Diehards needed. They opted to go that left again, John, and finally, it took them 40 minutes, but it comes up trumps here. We see the initial hit up here from Scholes, just taking a few plays into the centre there, which enabled these outside men to have a few extra metres here, and it's good ball playing here from McGrady. Out the back to James Olds, and then Chambers still had a heap of work to do, but manages to just roll over and slam it down just inside the corner post there.
Unbelievable stuff. Look at that. He had a lot of work. 1, 2, 3, and they just scattered like 10 pins, didn't they? But that was good. Combinations finally coming across the right hand to the left hand side there, and scores in the corner. They didn't need Denny. And that, you can hear the half-time hooter. So 4-all, probably a fair indication, Cam.
Yeah, I would say it is a fair indication. To be honest, I think Bulimba if they were able to get more possession up the attacking side of the field, I feel like they could have come up with some more points. But they sort of got to the halfway mark and they just come up with a silly error or just enabled Diehards to get the ball. So they did give Diehards a lot of opportunities, and credit to their defence. They defended a lot of that half on their own line, but just before half-time, the Diehards managed to scrape one in.
Well, I can't even see where the goal kicker is. I don't think it's James Olds either. In that far corner. It might be actually McGrady, and it is McGrady. As we see 007 walk past. Jason shaken, not stirred, Delizio. Looking very regal with his umbrella, isn't he? About as classy as he gets. Jace, you backing this one in, Cam?
Yeah, of course.
You are?
Yeah, Glenn coming down.
With the breeze at the back. Behind him.
He's got a good boot on him, so he won't struggle for distance, I'll tell you that. He's just got to get the radar right, and he should knock it over. 4 points to 4. Kick to come here from McGrady as he go through his processes. But, yeah, as you said, John, it's probably fair to go into the break-even Stevens here.
Settles himself, McGrady. No banners here to bang on to put him off. Strikes to your right. He'll have the distance and waved away 4-4 at half time. And a try apiece. And we look at the around the grounds and down at Kitchener Park, the home of the King of Kitchener is
Chris Green.
Chris Green. Yeah, they lead 12-6 over Pine Rivers. The other games this afternoon, South will take on Brighton. Careen will take on Normally, and the Beanley will take on West. But here at Balmoral Sports for reserve Cam, interesting game of rugby league. A lot of errors, bad passes, and a couple of one-on-one strips. Completions probably about 40% from both sides, and that reflects the scoreline of 4-4 at half time. Your best so far?
Yeah, probably Braden D on the Bulimba side. I think he's been great out on that edge. Just unfortunate for him there. They managed to score on right on the half-time buzzer down his edge. But, yeah, 4 points to 4. I feel like this game will open up in the second half. So hold tight here, and we'll see you after this short break.
Oh yes, we are back for 40 more minutes of crazy rugby league here at the Balmoral Sports Reserve. The rain's gone away, the sun's trying to poke its way through here, and one of these sides is trying to poke its way in front. 4-4, a try right on half-time. Good afternoon. Chaos BRL TV match of the round here between the Bulimba Bulldogs and the Valley Diehards. Joining me is Cameron Anchor. Cam, I think it's the same comments at half-time from both coaches. Well, let's get a completed set here because I think there's probably been about 5 from each side.
4 points to 4, mate. And as I said, I think this game might open up.
We're just going to grab Nathan here. No, we're going to grab Jason Delizio. Get a chat at half-time, see what was going on because it was fairly obvious. Jason, mate, 4-4. Try at the end eventually, but cover defence has been strong, but completions from both sides ordinary, and it's not the conditions either.
Yeah, it has been pretty ordinary. Look, there's been high intensity from both teams. It was an emotional start, and we tried to weather the storm, and we just can't hold on to the ball. So I think the team that does that best, coming into this second half, is probably going to maybe get away with it.
Both sides doing offloads early in the tackle camp. Where did that come from?
Not from instruction, that's definitely for sure.
Just on the Valley side, for a few weeks you've had the same combinations. A couple of players have come back from Norths.
Yep.
That made the little combinations a bit unsettling to start the game off.
Yeah, it has, and there's been a couple of injuries as well. So that there's been a few forced changes. So it's never good, but hopefully they're just short-term injuries, and the North guys so far have been quite good for us.
All right, Jason Lizio, thanks for your time, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers. Jason Lizio, assistant coach of the Valley Diehards, and basically answered the questions you could have answered for me, Cam.
Well, there you go, hearing it from the coach's mouth as well, John. Hold on to the ball, you're going to go a long way to winning this match.
Exactly, as we see Valleys with the first use, see if they can complete a set. It's a 40-metre line for Valleys. Kitty, I beg your pardon. Oh, big contacts. Payoko dummy half now. It's the last tackle. They're 10 short of the halfway line. Is with McGrady. Puts it over the kick, over the top here. Looking for some chases and a good bounce. Doesn't get it. So good field position now here for Bulimba.
Yeah, that was because of the kick pressure as well there from the Bulldogs. They rushed up on McGrady. They know that they've got to get to him.
Oh, we've lost the footy and they'll come up with it now. Valley's on the attack. Long ball out to the right-hand side. Going back into the field of play over there is Reed Young. He'll get up and play. It actually was Michael McGrath. Val McGrill, so Valley scored a minute before half-time. Maybe they might score the first minute after half-time as you see the big number 6 in McGrady go forward. Here's a penalty. Ooh, just wondering, Ken.
Well, there's not much points in it, John, so I'm with you here. Yeah, I'm with you. Maybe they look at taking the 2.
Player put on a report, but
doesn't look like they're going to, though.
No.
Smarter men than us, John.
Well, okay. Well, if they score, they are smarter. If they're not, well, we're smarter. We'll take that one anyway. See how we go. See if Vitali gets the offload. Forwards combining in the middle of the park. Lovely stuff is with Skulls, and Skulls will take the tackle after getting a pass from Navoa McGrill. 5 out from the try line. Okay. Again, Navoa McGrill gets the footy. Gets cut down. Haven't gone anywhere here. Valleys. Options left and right. They've got a lot of numbers out here. It's with McGrady. No look pass. Goes to nobody. Valleys hit him a little knock on there, but play on half a gap there. Oh, Maguire just gets in the way of that one. Fayoud. Lapu, and there's a try in the corner straight after the Oranges break, and Valleys are in front for the first time, Cam.
Oh, yep, there you go. Reed Young out on that right-hand side. We thought it might have been better for them to try and hit the right-hand side a bit more as they've been favouring the left. We see Payako here, gets a late offload. See Avatelli attracts a few players, and then they try and wing it to the right-hand side straight away through that man Payako, then to Fayoud, and it's Lee Powell here that hands it off to Young. And again, some work in front of him, but manages to just get over the try line there. Finn Barnes wasn't able to make the tackle, and the Diehards, they get their first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, well, it's all...
But again, as I said, I thought this game might open up a little bit in the second half as we see a little bit of fatigue for both sides. And it wasn't the best play there from Valleys to the right-hand side, but they just managed to feed the ball out to the outside men who are hungry. They want the pill in their hands, and Reed Young just done a great job to slam the ball over the turf.
Yeah, a little bit similar to the try before half-time. They used the full width, and I don't know what you're thinking about 2 points, Cam. That's crazy.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, but that's what it is. Left to right passing, catch and pass, taking the line, gets the offload and rampaging on there as Reed Young. He goes over. He knows how to score tries. I think he scored 2 or 3 at Emerson Park a few weeks ago, I think, Cam, from memory. So he's no stranger to the try and almost finishes a try like a winger.
Another tough one here for McGrady as well. Both kicks from the sideline, and as we always say, John, they are important.
That breeze has swung around, I think, Cam. Is it coming from almost into his face now? It's a complete 360. It's going to have the legs, but it's going to be waved away. So the score remains 8-0 on the Chaos scoreboard. 35 minutes remaining.
Let's see how Bulimba respond now, John, after going down for the first time in the match now. They'll be looking to really try and aim up with their defensive resilience here and get in the face of the Diehards. Tybee gets us back underway with a low sort of kick-off this time.
There have been some unorthodox restarts to these games, both under the goalpost and then out in the middle.
Yeah,
Kick-offs have been sort of halfway through, trying to bring players forward in greasy conditions to try and catch the footy. But good defence there coming from Bulimba. That's a super shot there, led by none other than Braden D. Lovely stuff.
They want to get in the face of McGrady here on last play as well, Bulimba. It's not last play yet, but they won't want him to put up one of those nasty bombs that he's been putting up this afternoon.
Payoka gets a little daft and dummy half. They go to this right-hand side. Fayoud puts a low, flat kick in. It's going to sit. Oh, he gets a nice little bounce in the end. And that's Stafford. Stafford goes across field, and he's an easy target. Well, Reed Young might have told him, don't go sideways. Now's with Jackson because you're going to get cut down here. So there's another good tackle there coming from the offensive Bulimba. Blindside. Braden D gets over halfway. Valleys on roller skates. Halfway line. 6 more late in the tackle count. Well, he hung on way too long there. It's going to go against Barwick, so they're going to get a few more tackles. Bit of feeling starting to creep into this Cameron anchor. Well, a lot on the line for both sides. An emotional day here, of course, as we see your Barnes. Fayu going through a lot of tackling here this afternoon. It's with Hayden Herb. Puts one dummy out the back. Finds Wright Scott. Still going. Here he goes. Wright Scott for the try. And Tristan Wright Scott, who'll waltz his way through the try line. And he does the kangaroo catcher. Trademark try-scoring manoeuvre at the end there. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, wonderful stuff from the Bulimba Bulldogs here. Just opened up for Tristan Wright Scott, didn't it? We see here Finn Barnes took that hit up. He got up and went again. And as you said, Fayoud getting through a mountain of work with his defence. Went out the back to Herbert here. He goes to the line and goes out the back to Tristan Wright Scott. They all chase too hard to the right. Tristan Wright Scott comes off his right foot, slams it down. And what about the celebration as well for his man, Michael Purcell? Great stuff. Wonderful to see for the Bulldogs. 8 points to 8, kick to come.
Yeah, lovely stuff. And the crowd's pretty happy about it too. And I think whether you're a Bulldog or a Diehards, a lovely gesture there from Tristan Wright Scott. So, well, it's converting the easiest one of the day.
Jacob Reedy Bartlett going out there now for the Bulimba Bulldogs. We haven't even seen him yet, and he's such a quality forward, so it's interesting we're only seeing him now, but that must be a good asset to have as well for the Bulldogs.
Zach Tybee realising where the try was scored is manned up to take the conversion. Very brave of him. I've got this one, boys. Thank you. Just to take it out to 10-8.
So 2 tries in quick concession in the second half, John.
8 minutes. Conversion is successful, so 10-8. As Bulimba take the lead back. So let's see how this restart from McGrady goes. Send it deep. Still a long way to go in this round 17 clash. 31.5 minutes still to go. McGrady's a tall man. Tall man, he looks like Dave Grohl.
He doesn't mind a mid-range kickoff
No.
either. I'm not sure the point of it, but anyway.
Trying to look for an error, but anyway, re-gun the tackler over there on the roadside here at Bulimba. See Valley's trying to force an error with some two defenders in the tackle, Scholes and Lavelle McGrill, that previous ruck, and Scholes again getting involved. Herbert kicking early. Olds is the only one back there, and that'll roll in a touch here. Good kick there from Tristan Wright-Scott, just turning everybody around.
I think he was looking for a 40-20 as well. He didn't get it, but still a nice result nonetheless. 30 out from the opposition try line, so they'll take that. Completed set, nice kick at the end of it. Making Valley's work again, coming out of their own end. Might see the first introduction of Elias Tuitama as well for the Diehards in the 17 jumper.
Yeah, I had him walking past crushing grass. Barwick. Big solid again this afternoon. Who's Barwick?
Oh,
There's an error. Well, it ended up being a 40-20 Cam. Well, they got the ball back.
Elias Tuitama makes way for, comes on, and Rob Barwick makes way. But yeah, that's unfortunate for C. Avatelli there from the Diehards, just giving them great position here for the Bulldogs. They struggled to get in good positions in the first half, and now they've had a few of them to start the second. They've already got one try.
Got a flat footy. They want another one. Those footies, I think they're probably one of the first batch that were ever made. I can only just make out the writing on the side of that one. Anyway.
No, big chance here for the Bulldogs.
All right, Scott, so they've got 4 men on this open side. McGrady reckons they're going to go the other way. And they do go that way. McGrady read it better. Pascoe. So here we go. Can they put some more paint on the scoreboard against Valleys, who scored first in the second half and last in the first? Barnes will take the tackle. Previously, we would have seen some sort of an attempt to get the offloads, but I don't think we'll see too many of them in this half, Cam. This is Herbert.
It's Reedy Bartlett in the number 21.
Homona gets the offload, coming back into the field, but goes over and scores a try. Stafford scores a try. Something out of nothing. Valley's defence widens up, and over they go.
Yeah, they're really starting to play some footy now, this Bulimba side. We saw the injection of Jacob Reedy Bartlett. Took that hit up, and it was Finn Barnes that plays it back to Pascoe. They come to the right-hand side. Herbert then switches the play to Reedy Bartlett. He gets a nice offload, and it fires its way out to Ahomana, who's now got a try and a try assist. And Stafford has been pretty good in this match, hasn't he, John? Now he's got a pie to go with it.
Yeah, great wingers try there. He steps off the left. Still a couple to weave way through, but he goes over and scores a try, and he's pretty happy about that. And the Bulldogs go out to 14 points to 8 with the kick to come. And it all comes on the back of that error, the handling error.
Yeah, unfortunately there for C. Avatelli. He's been pretty good since coming on for the Diehards, but just an error. They're crucial, aren't they, John? Especially in this sort of weather, as it's a bit. What would you call it? A bit dewy out there.
A bit dour. Yeah, look like a night game footy now with conditions. But one thing I'm noticing in this since half time, they've listened to the coaches. Everybody's hanging on. There's no offloads. The passes are getting to hitting their man. Yeah,
and they've kept it a lot shorter, haven't they?
Yep.
Into that sort of middle third of the field, they've kept it in there.
Yeah, they haven't been too expensive. They have when they've had to, and they've scored 2 tries both sides, going wide in the end.
Tybee lining this one up.
Oh, it's 2 from 2. I don't know why I wasn't kicking all game. So takes it out now to 18 points to 8. 27.5 still to go.
Well, I mentioned earlier I was intrigued to see how the Dogs responded when they went down for the first time in the match. Now I'm intrigued to see how this Diehards side respond. 16 points to 8. They need 2 tries to get back into this match. So let's see how they go.
Grady again with a short range kick off. The chasers then come through a little bit heavier. Takes it easy.
He does those short range ones, John, but it's weird to say, but there's too much on the short one.
Yeah, exactly right. They're going to kick that high, make it shorter.
Yeah.
Again, like just on the 15-metre mark. But anyway, so Bulimba will certainly get across the halfway line in this set of 6, unless Valleys can line up defensively. good field position now. O'Keefe. The message is going back to the back three to drop back because Hayden Herbert, and away he goes. Again, kicking early on the tackle count. That's a raking kick. Oh. That's a high kick. Traffic in the way. Thought we were going to see Gillespie and Ward clash on the cricket field. And Jackson has to come and do some tackling with help with D. Held, says the referee. So field position this time for Valleys as Olds tries to get through. O'Keefe's waiting for him.
Good run from Olds. 3 players on him, still managed to make some meters there.
It's out of control. I don't get it. It's Paeko. Now it's Tuatama, and he gets over halfway. Still a couple tackles to go. McGrady stuck with the footy. Not really sure what Glenn was trying to do there, but anyway, he'll get up and still a couple tackles to go. Paeko to the right. Fayoud takes to the line, gets the offload. He's going to take the tackle in the end there. There's numbers out to the right-hand side. They've got a lot of numbers to the right-hand side out that way. That's the way Valleys go. Chambers. I beg your pardon. It's actually that Reed Young out there.
Yeah, it is. On the right-hand side. I'm not sure what happened at the back end of that play there, but it's going to be a Bulimba ball, but they've got him in that corner there, the Diehards. That was a much better set from them.
See if Valleys can man up defensively here. Doesn't go to Jackson. So it's going to be Zach Tybee. Yeah, you can hear the grunts. Trying to get every metre out of Balmoral Sports. Oh, good contact here. Chambers involved. Holding down. They want to give another. This is the other thing, Cam. Bulimba also got a penalty late in the tackle cam for holding down. Almost in exactly the same position. Now it's the last.
Might go to the air again here through Herbert. He goes a bit longer.
Olds go back and have a look at that one, and Olds takes it, as you'd expect, quite comfortably, looking for options to get the offload. Does so. He gives it off now to Chambers. Chambers has to come back into the field of play. He's going to be taken by Jackson. What a great ball and all tackles. Pulls down the bigger man.
I'm with you, Johnny. He might not be the biggest man, but I tell you what, he's got a lot of heart.
6 to go, says the referee. So McGrady finds Tuatama and gets over halfway. I'm not sure if anybody else saw that. 6 to go. Maguire back out there and falls over because the sniper's got him from the townhouses here at Balmoral. Here he comes, Tuatama, second carry. They got him on his back, slow play the ball. Good stuff here from Bulimba. Fayoud. Heavy contact again. The defence tested on the edges. Fayoud on the last. Puts a cross-field kick. Jackson's back there and swallows it. Too big.
No pressure, and it was inside the in-goal line. And here goes Jackson picking up some nice meters.
Yeah, and caught the clip in the ear as well there. But Jackson, quick play ball. No markers. Dart from dummy half. Here's half a chance here. Oh, Bulimba are on a roll. That's the 40-metre line. One-on-one strip from McGrady. It's a penalty. Well, I thought there was only one man in the tackle. He's got 10 in the bin as well.
He's got 10. That's a big play. That is a big play. Well, Glenn's appealing his case. He thought it's one-on-one strip, but the referee said the tackle had been made. I think that's the ruling, John.
Oh, yeah, McGrady, I think he's been hard done by there, but I could be, well,
and because they were on such a roll after a great run from Zach Tybee, he's going to have 10 in the bin here, Glenn.
No, he doesn't know where to go. The last thing you do is sending a player to the bin. You don't put him in front of food. Yeah, look, I don't know whether we can't hear because he's got the headphones on whether he said held.
Big opportunity now. This is big in the context of this match. If Bulimba can pile on a few here against 12 men, it's game, set, match.
Yeah. Well, they lead by obviously 8, which is they've got to score twice to Valleys. Still got a quarter of footy to go. Here he goes, D. Has he been off, Cam?
I don't think so,
I think
John.
he has.
No.
He's an animal. Still going. How many do you have for breakfast? There we go. He was allowed to run his right Scott. They want to be careful. He scored a try with that sort of thing. A Homona. Outside him is Stafford. Doesn't get the offload. He's run out of turf. Stafford a dummy half. Finds Hayden Herbert. Now with Mears. Gets the offload now here to Reedy Bartlett.
Played some number switching on us again.
This could be the clincher. Under ball. Tiatau. Tiatau still going. Does he get an arm loose? No. Takes a tackle there of Maguire. He actually got across the line and he's been held up, so he's got to come back. Husky Tiatau played 10 metres out from the try line. Mears is a dummy. Markers. Forward.
Well, they'll be happy with that, the Diehards. Pressure evaded there with 12 men. It's taken a few minutes off the clock as well with Glenn in the bin, so they'll just want to complete this set, get it down the other end and play down the other end of the field while they've got a man in the bin, and then maybe when they get back to 13-13, think about trying to win this match. 20 on the clock here to go in the second half.
Yeah, my mark was 20, come back on the 13th minute. He looks comfortable over there in the shed. He's put his feet up, watch a bit of Allen.
Bit of a rest.
Yep.
Be happy with his side's defensive efforts there, that's for sure.
So Valley's, as Cameron Ankin rightly said, he just want to wind down that clock, get to the other end, defend for a couple of sets. Good, strong defence from D and Mears. Held, says the referee. Not everybody's yelling at the referee with all sorts of instructions. Probably just hang on and play footy. Chambers. Tybee grabs him and throws the ball back inside. Jackson comes up with the footy. Play on, looking for a one-on-one strip with Olds. Going to hang on to the footy. Jackson.
He's been great, Jackson, with limited opportunities. Every time he's been called upon, he's done a great job for his side.
D with a good carry there in the middle of the park. Husky Tiatau thinks about an offload, goes to the left-hand side with Hayden Herbert. Oh, Ahamona does a jinking run, comes back into the field of play before he's going to be tackled right on the chalk. Stafford a dummy half. They got a back line. Still a couple of tackles to go, but he's flat pass. Well, it's too far in front. Probably would have been called forward and it's going to be a knock on now. He's called that back. I'm suggesting Valley's going to knock this on, Cam. Why he didn't play the advantage, but in saying that referee sometimes don't play the advantage, I don't know how that works, but let's see who gets the feed here. But you can see Bulimba actually got a bit of a back line. Well, neither side's got a back line. I think we saw that between Beanley and Bulimba. It was a set play off the back of the scrum that Beanley's Bulimba might have scored, I think.
There's a Valley's ball, so again, they've done well there, Valley's. 12 men on the park. Doing a good job so far. Glenn McGrady in the bin if you are just tuning in.
So that's the 20-metre line. Penalty.
They'll take that. They will take that every day of the week, the Diehards.
Who's going to kick it? Oh, it's going to be Fayoud. Normally it'd be McGrady who would probably send that thing into the creek. Fayoud will find touch.
A decent touch finder too, John. Now they're going to start playing footy where they want to play footy. In the Bulimba Bulldogs half. McGrady still with about 4 minutes on my watch.
Yep. And this will be even better because they're trying to find the footy.
At the back end of this, John, if they could get a repeat at a minimum, they would take that.
Totally. See what happens. That's with Reed Young. He seems to recover from a smash mush early in the first half. Fayoud looking for ball runners. Finds one. He gives a see of Vitali. See Vitali hangs on the footy this time, does he? Yep. Gets to the 30. Zach McGuire screaming for a penalty. You think about taking two when you wind down the clock and put something in there. Count. Chambers steps off the left, ducks under one high one, coming across his tee, pulls him down. 5 out, 5 in. Olds is a dummy half. 6 more to go, Cam. Crazy stuff here.
There you go.
Ball goes out the back here. Play on, says the referees, with Olds. So they've got another 5 tackles to go, have the Valley Diehards. 16-8 on the scoreboard, 17 minutes. Maguire from dummy half has a dart. Thinks about the offload. Not really sure if he knows what the tackle can. Driving with the legs, gets close and D holds him up.
Well, they're playing great with 12 men, John. They've almost gone up a level here.
It's funny how they do that, don't they? When you're down to 13, I can remember seeing the Australians playing on the All Blacks, so we're down to 12, down to 14. It just lifts everybody. It's easy in attack, of course. Tuatama thinks about the offload, and Teotau will grab him. Zach Maguire, does he go himself? No, he finds a charging man on the ball, and that's Vitali. The Bulldogs are waiting for him, almost like he's the postman, to maul the man with the envelopes. Fayoud. Lee Powell stands in the tackle. This is a great effort here coming from the Bulldog. Dart from dummy half. They're waiting for that little manoeuvre. Loses the footy. Play on, says the referee. So Bulimba will come away with it, turning defence into attack. They're putting it through the hands. Zach Tybie's with the footy, and Tybie will end up taking the tackle. Does
Tybie.
he? Still going, Zach Tybie. Finally, he has to be.
They need to do
Joe
better
Maguire.
here, Valleys. They need to keep them in the half.
6 to go again, and the referee looks like he's in a nightclub at the moment. He's throwing those arms up in the air. Now he's giving a penalty. Shoulder charge.
That was Andy Jackson running in there, doing some dirty work again, as the good outside backs do. They come in, take some pressure off the forwards. He does it there. We see the penalty replay here. See Vitelli with a swinging arm, I think it was.
Shoulder charge. Something a ping for a shoulder charge. Now Mears a fine touch. They'll hit some of these little Datsun 120Y, which is probably owned by Chapo.
Glenn doing his boots up over there under the sheds. He must be getting close. So this is a pivotal moment here with the Diehards' defensive structures trying to remain. No points being conceded while Glenn was in the bin, and there's an error from the Dogs. So they just might do that, John.
Barnes getting up, playing a little bit too quickly there, and they come up with an error. So that will be a scrum feed here. Well, the referee is 6 to go and a penalty to Bulimba, and unfortunately they coughed up the opportunity to try and put some points onto a 12-man diehard squad, but in the end...
This might give the Diehards a lot of confidence if they can come away with this with no points conceded.
It's the centre of the park. They'll have a set play. Obviously, as you said, McGrady's not in there. Now, I don't know if you still got to have 6 in the scrum. You don't. No, you can have 5.
Lock. Yeah.
So scrum fed 1. So McGrill gets the offload. Chambers takes on D. Thinks about the offload. Hangs on to the footy. Zach Tybie. Both of them have a little chat on the ground here. Obviously about world politics. I'll get up and play. Centre of the park. Has to leap high for that one. And there's Teotama.
Those two have had a great battle, haven't they? Zach Tybie and Jared Chambers.
It's been a lovely stuff across the park here in this round 17 Chaos Clash. Premier A grade. Tuatama. Goose-stepping run here from that man's Rashun Deddy. Rashun Deddy knows how to score a try. Rashun Deddy's trying to get across here. He actually scored that try last year against Normby to knock Normby out and get them to the grand final, so he knows where the try line is. Here's a go. Tuatama trying to get some points back. Gets an arm free. You just see Maguire saying, hang on to it. Oh. Charging across the try line. He's got close. No, it's the last. See what Tali it was. Fayoud puts it into the corner. Flies high, rolls over. Does he score the try? Gets the offload out the back. Knock on changeover. Good defence there from Bulimba.
Yeah, good defence from Bulimba. It was a nice kick from Josh Fayoud, putting it above the pack, enabling his outside men to try and have a clean grab at it. It was Michael McGrath. He did get a grab at it, but just wasn't able to pop it back.
Nonetheless, they want a good defensive set. We see McGrady yet to come back. Oh, Maguire involved in that tackle there. Both of them, Joe and Zach. Michael still on the sideline. Michael Maguire come back, I can imagine, with 10 to go. I don't know how many interchanges they've gone through, the Diehards, but Tybie. Jackson has to clean up the mess out the back here. Hit about half a knock on, but Jackson picked it up cleanly from 9.
Starting to break down a little bit here for the Bulimba side. You just clean it up, get back to basics here. maybe trying for too much.
They've had a tough 3 weeks too, Ken. They had 2 games against Bulimba, as you know, and then obviously the Panthers last week. They came back into that game against the Panthers, but it took a lot out of them. Those last 3 clashes. Let's see if it pays. Hurts again in these heavy conditions. So Mears puts the kick end over end. You see McGrady back on the park. So the Dave Grohl lookalike is back out on the park here.
And no points conceded from the Diehards, so that's a win-win for them.
Credit there, exactly. Olds, dummy half. Halfway line's right there. He does eventually get his head across the line. Zach McGuire's a dummy half. It's with Reed Young. Going sideways. Easy target there for Busby. What can they come up with here? John Maguire. Maguire takes the tackle. Pasco underneath. That's about the 30-metre line. Still a couple left in the tank. See Vitali. McGrady, no look pass, putting it through the hands is with Sean Denny, and Denny will stand in the tackle there of Jackson. Gets the ball out the back where he's called held. Now Burma Grill, last tackle now. McGrady, all the time in the wheelbase, puts a kick in. That's going to be way too big, or is it? They tackle him in the in-goal area? No, but he's about 100 metres from the other end here. McGrady, all the time in the world, it looks like he just...
He put a little kick in for himself. I still think he should have went to his outside man in McGrath and put it in the air and give them a chance again.
Jackson. Still going Jackson. Joe Maguire grabs his face. You can't attack his head, Joe. The ball, that was... Well, I don't think that ball's got red hair, Joe. You can see him really giving it to the ref.
Zach appealing the case to the referee there, but this ball might be coming towards us here, John, so stay on your feet. Zach Tybee looking to find touch. Goes over.
Unfortunate there for Valleys. D wants to have a crack. Of course he does.
He's been
now I know why I gave the game away after seeing this, Cam.
He's been just about the best on the park here, D, for the Bulimba side.
Pasco. Certainly contained Pasco. Oh, Joe Maguire's done a job on him. And equally so the other way around. Joe's been reasonably quiet, but both haven't mind going toe-to-toe. It's Kitty. Sun comes out here at Balmoral. Pasco. Still going Pasco. Still throwing dummies left, right and centre. It looks like a childcare centre there, and he'll get up and play it 15 out from the try line. Mears is a dummy half. Ooh, juggler Tristan Wright Scott puts it in the in-goal area. Try time. Is he onside? The referee's going to say Zach Tybee is, and that's going to be a try. Is that the clincher?
I think it might be, John. Good follow-through from Zach Tybee. Nice kick from Tristan Wright Scott. Let's have a look on the Chaos BRL replay and just to have a look at this put down here from Zach Tybee. I thought it might have been a little bit suspect, but let's roll the tape and have a look at it. Great kick from their 5'8" there, and Tristan Wright Scott. He's been involved in everything they've done well this afternoon. He scored a try himself. There's the kick. Tybee. Oh no, I think it was fine. It's just my eyes.
I think it's obviously he was onside because, in all honesty, probably one of the better touch judges and referees in Chapo on the sideline was all over that. So the try could be the clincher, 20 points there, and the kick to come. They'll take it out to.
Yeah, it's a big try for the Dogs there, John. And again, they couldn't score when they were playing against 12 men, but then 13, it just looks a lot easier, doesn't it? It's a funny game, rugby league sometimes.
Frustrating. So
he's been good today, Tristan Wright Scott, though. That was a nice little dink of a kick, putting it in the in goal, giving his outside men a chance. There he is again, just summing the situation up quite well. Zach Tybee. Nice put down in the end as well.
Left foot stab here from Tybee. As I said, at the moment it's a 12-point ball game. This will probably put the end to if he can convert this one, and he's hooked it to the right. Oh, Cam, looks like you're 9-9. Never mind, the score remains 20 points to 8. 7 minutes remaining here. Round 16 clash of the Chaos Premier A grade competition. One more round next week, and then we head to finals. So now he'll want a short kick-off, and this time they want to get the ball back. And he's only got that 15 minutes, Cam.
Yeah, they need to give his outside men a chance here, Glenn McGrady.
That's better. If they can get there quick enough.
Great
It does
save.
better to Stafford. Still going, spins and pirouettes in the tackle. 26 points to 14 in favour of the Seagulls over Pine Rivers down there at Kitchener Park. So they've got that one.
And that might just rule out Pine for their finals chance as well.
Halfway
Great take from Stafford, wasn't it, John?
Fearless. Fearless. That's what I can say. Teartout. Well, look at this. Takes 3 Diehards for a run. Still going Teartout. It's only actually penalty. Well, it's hard to see the penalty count this game. It's almost climbing up like that game at Beanley we called a couple of weeks ago.
Maybe they slow it down here.
Maybe
The Dogs, and
maybe they'll take 2.
Yeah, they might even take 2. Tristan Wright Scott's talking to Tybee, but no, Mears wants to play on.
Well, they've got to play that full 80 minutes. Plays if they're behind or level. They can finish it off with just under 6 minutes remaining. D.
Bulimba might have made me eat my words as well. I said Valleys might have been the new contender to West, but Bulimba have proven me wrong, that's for sure.
Well, different flick pass to absolutely no one. Yeah, Zach Tybee said some unchristian-like word then, if you didn't pick it up through the effects mic. But
Not happy with himself there, Zach. They still had a fair few tackles up their sleeve in that set as well. He didn't need to throw that ball.
yeah, I mean, obviously, Bulimba played the Panthers last week. Pumped early, came back at the back end, but I don't see anybody stopping the Panthers. I'm calling them Black Caviar now because it just keeps winning and winning. You've really got to run a book on who's behind them.
It's hard to see anyone stopping them, but in saying that, in finals, it's a different ball game. It's 13 men up against 13 men, and anyone can do it on their day. As we saw last year, I think West were raging hot favourites going into the grand final, and Valley's got them in the end.
Yeah, and they led for most of that as well. All 3 grades made the grand finals last year at BMD Cougar Oval, is where the finals will be again this year. As we see with Chambers, they really need to start throwing the footy to anyone. That's going to be batted back in. His feet in the air. Good work from the touch actually to keep that one playing on. With Maguire, and Maguire will look to straighten Teartown's way. Boom! A big shot there from Joe Maguire. It's a shot there from Emmanuel Kitty. I'll tell you what, he's one of the most quietly spoken people we've ever mind, Emmanuel Kitty, but he puts a shot on like that. Hell says Roop. Now it's the last. He's been a bit miffed with Neville McGrill. He wanted to actually have another offload there. It's with McGrady. It's the last tackle. McGrady gets the offload. He's going to go without it. Barber can pick it up. That's a penalty later tackle again. Puts a shoulder charge on McGrady against Zach Tybee. And I think Zach might have hurt himself.
Yeah, they want to get going here as well, Valleys.
Sir!
Yeah, Tybee's popped that thing out. I'm telling you now, he's gone.
You see Camboris wants time off.
Yeah.
That's the last thing Valleys wanted. They wanted to keep rolling there.
Well, there you go. I got no idea. He's grabbing his leg. I thought it was his shoulder.
Final 3 minutes here.
Well, he's got to stay back. I'm not really sure how many interchanges are left. He might have to stay out there. None from Bulimba. And then he left on Valleys. No, both sides will use their benches. So he has to stay out there. Rafael McGrill, he's been strong today. 2 games. He gone off.
I don't think he's gone off either, no.
Maguire's dummy half. McGrady fires out to Faoud. Now Barnes. Here they go. It's in the hands of. They'll come back on the field of play. I think they might be on the far side there was Michael McGrath. I think it's the last. I'm not sure. Oh, I can see him coming out. Braden D fired out of a cannon and cuts down a diehard in Barwick. He only just went back on there, Barwick. He wish he hadn't. Chambers comes back into the field of play here. Well, they're not giving up with the shots either, are the Bulldogs. Gingerly he gets up. Michael Maguire goes back the other way here. Kitty around the ankles, knocks him off balance. Last tackle. Balmoral on that hold the line. McGrady goes without it, pops it back out the back. That's going to be a changeover.
Yeah, it's Bulimba's day, isn't it? They come together now as well, the boys, but it's definitely been Bulimba's day.
I'll tell you what, Cam, you're spot on. They've come together, but I would have thought this thing was going to blow up from game tackle one, but they've actually been well disciplined.
Well contained both teams today. And it's good to see the sun peeking through here at Balmoral Recreational Reserve as well.
Yeah.
The start of this match it was looking a bit grim, but it's good now.
Yeah, big day here. Obviously starting off with the paying tribute to Michael Purcell. As we see Jackson. It's driven back. Jeez, I'll tell you what, he's feeling. Barwick put a shot on him. Kitty now. Barwick gets back. Makes the tackle, does Barwick. Mears. Tiatau. Still going sideways as Tiatau. Hang on, they're not done here. Ahamana gets the offload to Stafford. Stafford down the left-hand side here. Olds is in the way. Puts a kick through. They're coming from everywhere, end over end. Can they knock it dead? They do, and that will be a line dropout, and that will do time, 90 seconds to go.
And they'll take all the time in the world.
Turn, be ready.
Valleys might go the short dropout here as well. Rashawn Denny's bringing it over. There was good cover from Rashawn coming all the way from this side to save that try. Ball with Glenn McGrady here. He'll probably opt to go the short to see if they can end this match with ball in hand. He does that. Not going to go 10.
You can hear the yell. End over end. It's almost like it's got spit on it.
They'll get a penalty right in front. Might just take the 2 to finish this match here, Bulimba.
You could take the 2, yeah.
They all count. Zach's coming over to the middle, but I don't see no T, so they're probably just going to take the tap, and he does.
The Diehards, just looking at the for and against, are actually ahead by 36 over Wynnum Juniors before this game. So Wynnum have won theirs, so they may leapfrog on for and against an error. Valleys will come up with a 40.
I don't think we'll see any more after that error from Simona Hamana. But again, 20 points to 8 here on BRL TV. John, it's been their day, hasn't it, Bulimba? Just they've been the better side in this second half. There wasn't much separating them in the first.
Yeah, 4-all at half time. Yeah.
Definitely been the better in the second half. Even though Valley scored the first try of the second half, after that it's been all Bulimba.
Sometimes those things can be a kick up the backside, but look, well done to Valley. Everybody shaking hands. That will be full time here in the Chaos Premier A grade round 17 clash, and the Bulldogs, the second place Bulimba side, hang on with a gritty 20 points to 8 win over the Valley Diehards. So, well, what a game of rugby league. It had everything in it. It was errors. The second half, obviously, more like semi-final footy. They came out and played football in the second half, didn't they, Cam? Yeah,
absolutely. Great game by Braden D as well. Got to mention his name for the Bulimba side. Just played the full 80 and just never gives in. And we saw right in the very last few minutes putting on that big shot on Rob Barwick. But yeah, in the end, a great win from the Bulimba Bulldogs, 20 points to 8 over the Diehards, and it pretty much consolidates them to finish second in this competition, as West have already got first wrapped up, John.
Exactly right. They will host the first semi-final here in 2 weeks' time. It could be against the Diehards again. It could be against the the Seagulls. Could be against you and me. Hopefully not, Cam. As we look at some of the highlights here as we ran it out. And, yeah, great second half here from the Bulldogs. They put on 16 points to 4 in the second 40 minutes to clinch this one. And as I said, they probably will meet again in semi-finals at some point. So they've got themselves a little bit of confidence and the mental edge, as we like to say. All right, Cam, we'll wrap it up here.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. 20 points to 8, round 18, the final round next weekend. Check out all that's happening in BRL weekly during the week with myself, Cameron Aiken and Brad Talon. And we'll see you all again next week. Thanks, Kel. Thanks, Jay.